sis.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
You're gonna watch me eat my dinner.
I'm gonna eat afterwards because I don't know what I want to eat.
I thought you were gonna eat the crab rangoons.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna eat that and watch Harry Potter. Maybe get a little drunk.
I had a feeling he was gonna say something else actually, but he said drunk. We're going with drunk. Yeah. So I don't know how many of y'all watched the what was it?
Super Bowl.
It was the Super Bowl. I don't know why I was thinking the Grammys. Where did I get that from?
It did happen though, didn't they?
Did the Grammys happen?
I
I
don't
didn't
know.
watch that. I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch the Super Bowl. I was busy doing things I care about.
As was I. However, we did hear all of the riffraff about the Justin Timberlake performance, and of course that was probably the biggest highlight of the whole event for myself and Aaron.
Yeah.
Because of the whole history of his and Janet Jackson's performance in 2004, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think everybody was kind of interested to see what
he would do. And, like, I didn't watch it myself because I don't really particularly care for Justin Timberlake. I only listen to one song of his, Sexy Back. And
Say what now? Okay, wait a second. We didn't have this discussion. You don't care about Justin Timberlake's music?
No, I don't seek it out.
So future sex love sounds means nothing to you,
No.
with the exception of Sexy Back.
Yeah, that's the only...
That did come out on that album, right? Or did I mix that up with another album?
Girl, I don't know.
I don't remember. Anyway.
Like,
Yeah.
I can, like... I mean,
I
like...
gets down with his music.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not gonna, like, turn it off. Like, if it comes on, it's just, like, I'm not actively seeking it out.
No, I was actively seeking out his music.
I mean, like, I actively seeked out, like, NSYNC because of Lance. He was the cutest member.
The irony that he's actually the gay one. The irony, but...
I know.
No, I mean, I was a huge mega fan of NSYNC back in the day, but Justin Timberlake, like, I did. I liked him, obviously, from NSYNC, and then I liked his music post-NSYNC, and I liked what he brought to the table, and I was with it. I was on board with it, and then the Janet Jackson thing happened, and we all had to take a little time out from Justin Timberlake because his behavior after was
atrocious.
not what we would have wanted to see from someone who considers himself an ally.
So, the main thing is, where I'm going to start with JT, is he and Prince didn't get along. They didn't like each other. They did not like each other. And it stemmed from Sexy Back, and Prince made the comment, Sexy Never Left. And then on, like, a Justin Timberlake and Timberland song, Justin, like, had a lyrical diss, like, aimed at and pointed at Prince. And I'm just sitting there like, bro, Prince is like tenfold the musician you will ever be.
I need to
in
hear
life.
this because I haven't heard what it was that he said.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know
what the actual lyrics were?
Mm-hmm.
No, but like I'm pretty sure like in later on in the video I'll post the comment the link in the comments. But they actively didn't like each other. And then like at a Golden Globes award ceremony, like Prince was nominated for a song from Happy Feet, and Justin Timberlake was the one who presented the award, and Prince wasn't there, and Justin Timberlake, he accepted it on his behalf, and then he he stooped down to like Prince's height, quote unquote, and then just said, "Thank you, everybody." And I'm just sitting there like,
so you thought you was being cute.
You thought you was being cute. But
it
like,
wasn't cute.
It wasn't cute.
Disrespectful.
Very. And if Prince had whipped your ass, I'd have been here for it. Like.
I would have been here just to watch it. That would be hysterical. Oh my goodness.
But so like Prince's ideas on like using like recordings and
holograms. And I don't
specifically
know if it was
holograms.
specific just to holograms or if it was like singing alongside someone as a recording when they've already been deceased.
It was like a lot of those. It was like he touched on a lot of it. But while Justin Timberlake didn't actively use a hologram, it was more so like, it's like, bro, you you and Prince had a history together. Now all of a sudden that you're in Minneapolis, you want a tribute to him. The tribute should have happened last year or in
True.
2016, not 2
I
years.
just thought it was distasteful.
It was
general.
distasteful.
It was distasteful. It was in poor taste. I felt like if you were going to do a tribute, yes, it should have been last year. I think also because there's some history of some beef between them, it's also distasteful. It's like, are you being shady? Are you actually honoring him for the amazing musician he was? Because if you're not doing it with that, then I don't even know how to take this, and it just comes off like you were dissing him. Not to mention that you blatantly disregarded his wishes upon,
using his image after he died. Like,
he explicitly said he did not want to sing alongside or, have like a situation where he's deceased and he's got a recording where he's, singing along with the person who's singing live. To him, that's demonic.
Yeah. And, like, Prince was not here for any of that. And so, like, and I don't want this to be a black versus white thing, but it's just like,
well,
like Justin Timberlake said, in so many words, damn what he wanted. This is my ratings and my views and my performance, which was mediocre. I read the reviews.
It was pretty mediocre in my opinion. And I love him. So I was kind of hoping to be like, yes, at least the performance was on. But when I watched it, in the first 20 seconds, I was bored. I was like, this is like, what did you get old? And you just, added shape? Where's the energy? There was no energy behind it to me. So it felt kind of like prepackaged.
Yeah. So with that being said, Justin Timberlake calls himself an ally, but one, he basically said, damn the wishes of a dead black man for my benefit. Two, couple years back when Jesse Owens made his like speech about like the
Jesse Owens.
What's his name? The actor? On BET
Hold
Awards.
on.
He was from Grey's Anatomy. It's not Jesse Owens?
It's not Jesse Owens.
Who is Jesse Owens?
Somebody else.
That's a race Olympic person.
Hold on.
The
actor.
actor.
Get the right name, but I know who you're talking about.
The light-skinned dude from Grey's Anatomy. Right. He has the real pretty eyes.
Jesse Williams? Yes, Jesse Williams.
Jesse Williams. Whoops. I gotta correct the Facebook post. So when Jesse Williams made his speech about police brutality and how it like negatively impacts like African American community in the United States, Justin Timberlake claimed to be inspired, which I don't doubt he was, but when he was called out for his behavior that happened during Nipplegate, which is a dumb name, the author that called him out, he said, you poor soul, yada, 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 and he basically dismissed that as irrelevant. And I'm just like, you are a white man being called out for like abusing your white privilege, and then you claim that the incident is irrelevant to what's happening now.
It's totally and completely relevant.
Yeah, so Justin, you are not an ally. And then just going back like 14 years to the Super Bowl. Years. You got little more than a slap on the wrist.
He did nothing. His career soared after that. It went up. It increased. It got better.
Yeah. So after Justin Timberlake
on the wrist of that.
Ripped off Janet Jackson's costume, like to the lyric "I'll have you naked by the end of this song," like she was crucified.
Are equally as guilty as her.
She was not. I don't think her boob was supposed to come out. I don't think she was guilty.
Because that's so in. Like, there was a lot of discussion around whether or not it was something that they had planned or not. So, because that's all up in the air, I don't know that they were not planning for that. But even if they were, they were equally responsible for that, in my opinion.
No, well, true. But like she was crucified. Her career became stagnant after a while, which I don't want to like get into this, but like she's been busy.
Call it stagnant though, because I feel like she legitimately got blackballed.
Yeah,
like, people,
she got blackballed.
Actually, actively told her she's not welcome. You cannot come to these awards or these events. Like you can't go. So they were actively blacklisting her, which is huge.
It is. And then I'm just sitting here like, huh. And like I don't care if he privately apologized. But, like, again, as a white man with white privilege, especially a straight white man that did this to, like, a black woman, you should apologize publicly for what happened and what you did and just take some responsibilities for your actions. I don't care how old you were or how old she was or what the thing behind it was supposed to be. If only, like, one layer was supposed to come off or however many... But, like, I'm just sitting here, like, Justin, you're a selfish shit human being, in my opinion.
Yeah, like, I don't think we can get around the fact that he's selfish. At this point, I do feel like he owes an apology. I think what he's apologizing for is in question because...
He owes multiple apologies.
He owes multiple apologies, but I don't want it to come off sounding like we're saying he owes an apology for... having reaped the benefits. Not necessarily, because he's not necessarily responsible for how the world responded to it. But he can at least acknowledge it. In my opinion, I think it would have been really more so of him showing he was an actual ally if he could have just acknowledged, like, yeah, I fully acknowledge that I didn't get in trouble at all for what we both did, if it was both of them, because we don't know. I didn't get in trouble at all. Like, everybody else basically treated me like I could do no wrong. And she took a huge hit on her career. Not a little hit, but a huge hit. Like, her career took years to come back. And arguably, we could say it never will fully come back to the degree that it was. But,
I mean... It's
come back, but you know
what I'm saying. It's come back, but then, like, I don't want to say this, but, like, she's done...
she's older, I think she's in a place in her life. She's obviously has a child now. Like, I don't know that
and she's still touring.
Yes, but I don't know that she necessarily wants her career to be what it was anyways, because she's in a different phase of her life. So, nonetheless, the point is that he needs to acknowledge that he has privilege in this situation and at least acknowledge it. Just acknowledge it and say, like, oh, absolutely. I acknowledge that it was unfair the way they treated her versus the way they treated me. Not necessarily apologize. Now, I think he owes her an apology in the event that he was actually responsible for that being ripped off and her nipple being exposed. If he's responsible for that, he abso-freaking-lutely, he deserves to, she deserves an apology.
A public one.
A public one, absolutely.
Like, so that's like all of my thoughts on JT. He's like a decent entertainer. Like, again, like Cry Me a River, 2 songs I like that I'll actively seek out when I want to, like, kind of hear a white boy whining and whatnot.
Aaron is such an exaggerator. But anyways, he is not nearly that bad. But anyways, excuse me. But yeah, no, I think that was definitely one of the talks of this week. I mean, we're only midweek, but, it was just this past Sunday. I didn't actually watch the Super Bowl because who cares?
Go Eagles.
Whatever. I don't care.
Oh, that's another thing. Those celebrations and whatnot, and they were just rowdy and
who?
the fans.
Riots?
That wasn't a riot. It was a celebration, okay? A celebration where grown men were eating horse shit. But like it was a celebration. That's all I'm gonna say on that. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Baltimore, Ferguson.
Yeah, so you can look it up for yourself and decide for yourself what you thought it was. Was it a riot or was it a celebration? I would love to know. Comment below.
Baltimore,
because I'm rolling my eyes and he's calling it a celebration, and we both know that that's not even close to true. But okay.
Baltimore, Ferguson.
All right, we're going along with whatever the BS media wants to shove down our throats.
Yay.
Yay.
Oh yeah! Speaking of the media, did you see the Today Show this week?
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you take that one.
No, I ain't got nothing to say other than Nefertiti was described many a times as a dark woman with kinky hair. I'm gonna let you look it up. I'm also gonna let you look at the Today Show's description of her. And we're gonna have a moment of silence.
I really
disrespecting Nefertiti.
Okay, no, there was a level of disrespect, but I got to segue for a second. I just said I'm gonna let you take this one, and she said I ain't gonna say nothing, and she took it anyway. Now,
I have a hard time not saying something when I have an opinion. I'm like, wait a second, I ain't got nothing to say. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
I got
okay,
shut
I'm gonna be quiet
down.
now. I'm gonna be quiet now.
Okay, so that pale, she wasn't pale, that tan white woman with the light eyes and the pretty pink lips that they showed was not an Egyptian woman. That was not and far from an Egyptian woman. Just looking at all the hieroglyphics inside the pyramids and all of that stuff, those people are painted brown. I don't see not a peach, not an eggshell.
I don't see any of those. Those colors didn't exist.
They didn't.
Not in that region.
Not in that region. Now Egypt is close to Europe, but yeah.
Ain't that close.
Yeah. And this will be my only time saying this. If Egyptians weren't black, they damn sure weren't white. Because they would be Middle Eastern, if anything else. So that, guess what, y'all? That's still brown. That is still brown. And
we could have this discussion all day long, because guess who else was from the Middle East that everybody likes to look at as white?
Jesus!
Jesus!
Yep.
In the name of Jesus, Nefertiti was not white. She wasn't. And y'all gonna stop whitewashing black people. That's all I have to say on the matter.
And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, and that had to be real embarrassing for Hoda on the Today Show. Yeah, she's Egyptian American if I'm not mistaken, and I'm just she knows what Egyptians look like.
She is Egyptian. Well, let's confirm. Go ahead.
All right, if she is an Egyptian, she knows what they look like. They ain't pale. They don't have tans.
Not like that. You know what? Honestly, in truth, I have met an olive toned Egyptian person who could, from all appearances, come off looking like she was white.
Yeah, Mediterranean.
But she looked Mediterranean. You could tell she had an olivey tone, so you would assume she was maybe Greek. But she wasn't pale. She wasn't pink. She wasn't peach. She wasn't none of those things. So, what's your excuse, Today Show?
It wasn't the Today Show. It was the guy they brought on. I didn't care to look up his name.
But I don't understand. I'm really having a hard time with these details.
Yeah, no, I just want to know because a lot of the busts, the original bust that I looked at, they were full lips, a wide nose.
Yeah, black people.
Kind of a longer profile thing that black people have too.
Agreed.
So.
And Hoda is, it says Egyptian Arabic pronunciation. I don't know why they would give her name an Egyptian Arabic pronunciation if she wasn't Egyptian Arabic. So I'm gonna go with she's Egyptian.
Yay, Google!
Yay, Google. Yeah. Okay.
So now I'm just gonna go back to it. I wonder what her face looked like because when I watched it, I just watched a little bit of it, and she kind of stepped out of the camera. I wonder if her face was
side-eye. Bye Felicia.
Who is
Robert Roberts.
To be completely honest, that Nefertiti looked like she wanted to speak to a manager. I need to speak speak to a manager. This costume don't fit.
I'm dead. Oh my goodness. She did though. She did. She definitely had the pursed lips look like.
I want to speak to.
This ain't right. This is not right.
So yeah, so like all of that aside, just speaking about like allies and like us in preparation for this like topic, I've like came across a couple of allies before, and they accused, and it was like they were white allies to people of color and everything, just like liberal in general. It's just like pro gay, pro people of color, pro all of that, right? But they were
with the facade. They're pro gay, pro black, pro Hispanic, pro Asian, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
So they're pro everything and pro equality and all that other stuff. And like they were so woke to the point where they were daydreaming. Because I heard one person say, well, he's pretending to be black. And you can't do that. That's problematic. And all
Who
that
is he talking about?
I don't want to say. I don't want to put names out there. So, it was like, yeah, I don't want to put names out there. So, I told you this story personally before. Like, but like, in essence.
Not recalling, and I'm like, so who is pretending to be black that's not black?
An artistic director who grew up like in like a metropolitan like kind of ghetto hood area.
Okay, I'm gonna sit on that because I don't recall.
I'll tell you after the live stream.
I'm like,
I will tell you after the live stream.
We did talk about this, and it's. Oh, I remember now. Okay, never mind. Got it.
Yeah. So like, I had somebody say like, oh, he's pretending to be black, and that's problematic, and you can't do that, and all this other stuff, and I'm just like, white, black, whatever you are, whatever environment you're in, you're gonna pick up those mannerisms. I went to like a predominantly white high school, and I like picked up like, and you know like how people say like a lot because they can't think of like what they want to say like
and
that.
I like enunciate my words a lot, and I think a lot of that comes from like people that I was growing up around, and I just picked up if you want to call it a dialect of speech.
Yeah, so I picked that up, and it's just that I was just like, how is he pretending to be black? And there was like a group of us, and I didn't want to like bring that up, but I'm just like, I wanted to ask, well, what is being black? Like, let me know. Like, I need to know. Like, let me know.
There's no one way to be anything in general, so I think that, I think there's interesting, it's an interesting comment because I've had people throughout my lifetime say like, are you really black? And I'm like, I don't know what you call this, but I'm pretty sure it's black.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
So with the
I don't have to question that. So you're trying to like throw shade at me behaving more white by your definition of what that means. Doesn't detract from my blackness and who I identify as and what I grew up as and how the world views me ultimately, because at the end of the day, it don't matter what how I behave or what I think or what my character is like. People see me as black because that's what they see first. I'm black. So
so like what the ally did in a sense was like he basically said, well, he's pretending to be this, and he's like saying like, well, only black people can act like this, and only like white people should act like that, and white people should be careful about like how they speak and approach to black people and all that other stuff when it comes to sensitive topics and all that other stuff. And then I'm just sitting there like,
no,
in a
that's
sense,
not how it works.
Yeah, in a sense, when you're an ally to that degree, like trying to like say what is and isn't acceptable for like white people to do that only black people can do, that is a form of racism.
Yeah.
So like what I'm gonna need all allies to do is check how woke they are and make sure they're not like trying to police the behaviors and mannerisms of other people, because I grew up in like like pretty diverse areas. I grew up in like a predominantly black area, predominantly white area. Like right now, I'm in a predominantly Latin area. So like there are different mannerisms that I can and most likely will pick up. So if a white man grows up in a predominantly black like hood area and he goes to a Baptist church,
he's probably gonna pick up things that are stereotypically black.
So that doesn't mean he's pretending to be anything.
No, he's being who he is. He just happened to grow up in a place that has a lot of black people. Gas! Like,
asterisk, gasp, asterisk.
Oh my gosh.
So, like, what I want to happen with a lot of these allies.
You know what? Sorry, side note. What's funny, too, is that that particular person that is not black but grew up in a predominantly black area, the ironic thing is that he's probably more so an ally than the person who's calling him out for behaving too black because he grew up around black people. He's probably the least racist person in the room. So it's just real ironic.
Yeah, and I'm just sitting here like what I'm gonna need all allies to do, like whoever you're an ally to, is just to check to make sure that you're an actual ally and that you're just not like a Tumblr ally or like an internet ally or whatever. It's just like, well, like only like black or gay people can behave like this. Only women can behave like this. Only.
It's just like I think it's a real indication of how ignorant they actually are.
Yeah, and like, there's no like actual. There's nothing wrong with being ignorant if you're actually planning on learning from the ignorance.
Ask questions if you legitimately don't know. Ask.
But
there's a way to ask.
Oh yeah.
But ask, because the only way you'll learn is to ask.
Yeah.
Or listen. I mean, I think it's really valuable to try and inform yourself. There's tons of podcasts on history. There's tons of black YouTubers that would be more than willing to share their experience with you, and they do for their career. There's tons of bloggers. There's just a lot of information out there, so there's really not a real good excuse for why so many white allies are so damn ignorant. Just saying. There's not a lot of excuses.
Yeah, and like, I know there's like a lot of things that I can stand to learn, but like if there's something that I don't know, I'd really rather not speak on it because like that's gonna make me appear like more like ignorant. It's just like he doesn't know what he's talking about, you know, and I'm just like, no, I don't want that. I don't want nor need that in my life. So like if I like, let's just say like I am a transgender ally, but I was just like saying something that's problematic to transgenders under the guise of helping. It's just like Aaron Benson is just as bad like as a transphobic person.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't want or need that, you know. So I'm just sitting here like all allies and whoever you're an ally to, make sure you know what you're doing to like defend and protect somebody that has less privilege than you.
I think honestly, and I've said this time and time again, I think if anything, if you really consider yourself an ally, the best thing you can do is spend time around those people, because you'll learn real quick. You will learn
quick, fast, and in a hurry.
So if you call yourself a transgender ally, in truth, who are you hanging out with that's transgender? What community centers are you going to try and find out what their needs are, what their problems are, how you can assist them? Find out from the actual source. You know, don't think that you know so much because you heard or your black friend told you or such and such. You know, that's one isolated person, and that does not necessarily represent the whole group.
Yeah. So
it would be really smart of you to actually spend time around, you know, whatever the group is. So go hang out in a black neighborhood or go to a mostly black event or something like that. I mean, there's just so much out there, and maybe I'm a little bit biased or a little misinformed because I live in Chicago and there really is a lot of freaking events out there, and you can just search for things on Facebook and find black mental health wellness, you know, event. There's just like tons of stuff online, and of course I search for it because I'm interested. You know, I'm looking at all this stuff. I find it because I'm looking for it. If you look for it, you'll find it. More than likely. I'm just.
Yeah. So there's a way of being an ally without like coming off as just like pretentious and like telling people what they can and can't do, uh, be for the behaviors of who they're like trying to like.
And you know what? I think he may have been thinking that it was like an example of appropriation.
Yeah. No, and
but it's false if that's who they actually are.
Yeah, because like living in Harvey and Dalton, those Chicago South suburbs, like if you are not from the Chicagoland area, and they're predominantly black. Like there's been instances where I've heard groups of like men talking, and then like I would imagine like 3 or 4 black men in my head. I turn around and see like 2 black men, 1 white dude. I'm like,
yeah, yeah.
So.
But check yourself. I mean, I think that's an example of like you have a preconceived idea of what a white man sounds like and what a black man sounds like, and I think that's from our experiences. But every now and then that stereotypes gets challenged, and you check yourself. You're like, whoa, I probably shouldn't have naturally assumed that was a black man.
Yeah. So it's just like. In the instance that I'm talking about, it's like you are a product of your environment. Like especially, yeah. So it's just like you can't claim that he's culturally appropriating, or he's pretending to be that, or he's pretending to be this. You know, like if you are an 8-year-old kid and your family is just like Le Cordon Bleu chefs. By 13, I'm gonna assume that you know how to cook for guac. So, you know.
I don't think that's fair, Aaron. Why would you assume that someone would just know how to cook just because their parents know how to cook? Maybe they don't like food. Maybe they don't like the stove or spoons and knives. Maybe they just don't get down like that. They just don't like it. Okay? Why would you assume?
Ooh, that hurt my soul. But I think this is a great place to leave you guys. We love your faces. We didn't introduce ourselves.
You know who we are.
Well, I'm Aaron.
I'm Richelle.
And we are mildly informed. Definitely tell your friends about us. Be sure to check us out next week on this same couch and whatnot. Yeah.
Richelle is sharing this on Facebook right now because she just realized that it appeared. So, yeah. Find us on Facebook.
Mildly informed, same name.
Yes. And on our Instagram.
I'm Mr.Aaron.
I am _LRyan_.
Yes. Alright. So, bye.
Bye.
Oh shit, it's reconnecting.